This episode of the Bad Crypto Podcast is brought to you by eToro. The best way to be smart about trading crypto is to use the smartest trading platform. And you can get $25 in free Bitcoin from Bad Crypto when you go to badco.in/eToro and follow the easy instructions. That's badco.in/eToro. Since we got into crypto, CoinMarketCap.com has been a staple in our daily blockchain regimen. But that's all changed ever since we discovered CoinGecko.com, an analytics platform for tracking cryptocurrencies and blockchain assets. CoinGecko is more feature-rich than CoinMarketCap. Sorry, CMC. And today, we welcome Bobby Ong, creator of CoinGecko, to the show to discuss these cool features that you're going to want to know about. And since there's a gecko involved, you might also save money on your auto insurance. Lizards and cryptos, it's all just another day in the Republic of Bad Cryptopia. This is episode number 285 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Hello, friends, fans, and felons. I hope there's no felons here. Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. I'm Joel Comm, and I have a cold in my nose.
Welcome to Bad Crypto. This show is going live on the 14th of July, which is two days before our second birthday.
Well, it's not our birthday. I mean, our birthday is the day we released the first episode, which is the 8th.
I don't know. I debate that because when did we actually birth the idea?
That's true. The idea was birthed on the 16th, and then we announced the baby to the world on the 18th.
But that's true. So the birthday is actually the day the kid is born, not the day the kid, his parents had booty time.
Right. That was conception. We conceived. We conceived.
And then gave birth on the 18th. So I guess we've decided that the 18th is our second anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations, baby.
And I think we might try to do something special, a special birthday show. And also, several of you have asked if we're going to do another birthday party like we did for the first birthday or anniversary. Which is it? Is it a birthday or an anniversary, damn it?
It's a birth-anniversary.
Okay. And we did do something here in Denver, and we're looking at doing something perhaps in August to celebrate the second birth anniversary. So we'll keep you posted about that.
Justificationizing.
Mm-hmm. Got a great show with Bobby Ong of CoinGecko on today. But first, we're also happy to bring on a new show sponsor. Mr. Travis Wright, would you like to tell our citizens?
You guys are going to be hearing a lot about NASGO. You might have heard us interview Eric Tippett a couple of weeks ago on a previous episode.
282. Episode 282, yeah.
Once we dove down the rabbit hole of this one, we were like, wow, this is a really, really interesting project, and we wanted to discover more. And so NASGO is essentially the GoDaddy of blockchain. Now, think about that. What did GoDaddy do for the internet? And how easy is it to go get a domain and get your web hosting, get your email and everything set up through GoDaddy? Now, imagine that with blockchain. You can tokenize your business today with no coding required. And they've developed a very easy solution for businesses to transition into the blockchain frontier. So you use the NASGO wallet. It provides you all the tools you need to advance your business. Will not break your bank. It is very interesting. This whole platform and ecosystem, you're going to be hearing a lot about it, we think. NASGO provides the essential foundation to sidechain with all kinds of APIs such as database writing, network communication, encryption, and the sidechain supplies more nodes to strengthen the whole NASGO system. So we did feature it on badco.in 282. But simplification of blockchain and being able to tokenize your business, tokenize your influence, tokenize your show, tokenize whatever. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it, Mr. Joel.
Let's go, NASGO.
NASGO.com.
That's it. And thanks,
Not
NASGO.
to be confused with NASCAR.
Yeah, really excited. It's been a long time speaking with Eric and Steve, the co-founders of the company, and more to come on that, ladies and gentlemen. Check them out, nasgo.com. And you're really going to enjoy this interview today. Bobby Ong, one smart cat from CoinGecko. So,
and you're going to enjoy the fact that Bobby Ong put Badcoin on CoinGecko after chatting with us. So we wanted to share that news too. So let's listen.
I don't know if it's just an infatuation with lizards or crypto or both, but there's more than one place to go to check the crypto prices. In fact, one of the up-and-coming sites that competes with CoinMarketCap.com is CoinGecko. It's all about the lizard. And the co-founder of CoinGecko.com is Bobby Ong. I met Bobby at Consensus in New York, and I said, hey, Bobby, you should come on Bad Crypto. And he said, well, you have to pay me a lot of Satoshis. And I said, okay, I'm going to pay you in Bad Coin. Well, that's not true. He's here for free. And welcome to Bad Crypto, Bobby Ong.
Hey, Joel. Hello, Travis.
It's Joel, not Joel, or else I'll have to call you Roberto.
Good.
Let me give a quick overview. You're the co-founder of CoinGecko. This is an analytics platform for tracking cryptos and blockchain assets. You established it in 2014, and it is now one of the largest crypto asset data aggregators in the world. You contributed to 2 digital currency books, and you were included in Forbes 2019 30 Under 30 Asia list. So you're kind of a big deal, and we're glad you're here today. Tell us how you first got into crypto, Bobby.
Very happy to be on the Bad Crypto podcast. Heard a lot about your show, listen to your podcast. So very happy to be here. I got into the space in 2013. So I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013. It's actually fresh out of university. And I was teaching myself how to code, and I spent quite some time in a lot of tech forums. And so I did a degree in economics, which is basically a study of money, but my lecturers did not mention Bitcoin at all during my lectures. So when I started programming and all these programmers were talking about Bitcoin, or this new form of magic internet money, I got really curious because I spent 3 years of my life in London learning about money, but they did not mention it at all. So, 2 things could happen. Either my lecturers were obsolete, or these programmers are all crazy. But I thought that, okay, someone's got to be wrong, but maybe let me just have a read the Bitcoin white paper. So I took a read, and then so the backdrop of quantitative easing made this seems quite possible that Bitcoin with this limited supply seems quite it's quite a good use case. And I thought, let me just try to buy my first Bitcoin, and I got it, and then I transferred it out to my own wallet, which I hold, and voila, this is interesting because now no government in the world can seize the money because I hold custody of the coins myself. And after Bitcoin, I started discovering the other coins in the space like Litecoin, and there was an Ethereum back then, but I started playing around, and soon after I found out about the BitShares white paper, which basically described the decentralized autonomous organization, which is basically a precursor to what Ethereum is all about. And this got me really interested, and started digging deeper into all these other white papers. And of course, I was trading a little bit back then as well, and wanted a little bit of collect data in coins. So wanted really much to get community data and developer data in the space, and then basically going around collecting them. Wanted to get some advantage in trading, of course, and decided that, hey, if everyone's talking about this thing but no one's actually quantifying all this data, what if we do it and put them together on a website and present it to everyone? And that's what we did with CoinGecko. And when we kind of launched it in April 2014, and pretty much things have gone on quite a lot since then.
It's been quite a ride. You have seen many different, ups and downs of the crypto, of going up and going down. It's been crazy, especially over this last 2 years for people who are relatively new to the ride. So when exactly did you say you got in crypto in 2012?
2013.
2013? Very nice. So you've seen some serious ups and downs since the 2013. What made you decide? You said, let's create this website that aggregates all this data in one place. What was that aha moment for you?
Yeah, so the aha moment was I was spending a lot of time in Bitcoin talk forums back then, and then everybody was kind of I mean, it still happens now, but it happens a lot in forums back then. People in Reddit, in Bitcoin Talk, and people are saying that my coin is the best coin in the world because it's got the largest community. Or my coin is the best coin in the world because it's got the largest developer stats. And I was thinking, why are all these guys going around telling the world that they have the best coin or these are the coin as the best coin in the world? I mean, there's all this data that can be quantified. You can easily go out and check how big the community is on Facebook, like how many Facebook likes this guy has on Facebook, how many followers this coin has on Twitter, and how active the community is on Reddit, like how many posts, how many comments, how many subscribers to the subreddit. These are all proxy indicators to determine how large a community is, and we wanted a way to quantify them properly. And then it's the same for developer, like all these coins saying that they have the best developer team, best dev teams. Like, it's easy to say, but you just show it in the code, like the code on GitHub, which is because everything's open source. You can easily see how many commits that the dev team has made, how many developers have forked the code. For example, like Bitcoin is the most popular open source code, and then developers worldwide have forked the code base multiple times, many times in the past few years. And we can see how many developers have favorited it and made pull requests to contribute to the open source development of Bitcoin, for example. And all these things can be tracked, and no one's tracking it back in those days. So we thought that it would be a very good idea to put them all together to increase transparency back then as well, and put words and numbers to the words instead of just having people going around telling rhetoric on how their coin is the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's really interesting to take a look at these exchanges and the volume that's taking place. We've had some people on the show in the past that have said that a lot of the volume from some of these exchanges is fake, and you guys track everything. How do you handle the fake volume? Is there anything you can do to let people know that are viewing CoinGecko what's real and what's not, or do you just treat it all the same?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So over the years, we've been operating over 5 years. We added over 4,500 coins, and we've been adding exchanges, and now we track over 300 plus exchanges on the website. And in the past half a year or so, this thing has become very, exchanges misreporting their volume data has become a very serious problem. So in traditional markets, exchanges with high volume usually equate to high liquidity. But in crypto markets, this is not necessarily the case, because many of these unregulated exchanges involve in wash trading and other manipulative behaviors, such as conducting transfer mining to boost their trading volume so that they appear to be the exchange with the largest, with the most liquidity. It's come to a stage where we believe that the reported trading volume number for most exchanges cannot be trusted. And if you look at an aggregate level, the reported trading volume number is no longer a good indicator. So because of that, roughly a month ago, during Consensus, we actually launched a new algorithm called Trust Score, which is implemented on CoinGecko on the exchange overview page and the coin page itself. So a couple of things that we look into for this first iteration of Trust Score is we look into the web traffic estimate based on SimilarWeb, and also the order book data for each exchange, each trading pair. So very briefly, we look at traffic estimates. So if an exchange claims that it has a very, very high trading volume, let's say $3-5 billion in daily trading volume, assuming that the exchange has a roughly similar percentage of users trading on API and on a mobile app, we would expect that the exchange would have a lot of visitors to its website as well. And websites like SimilarWeb, services like SimilarWeb help users track how many visitors that the website has. So obviously, the exchange with the most visitors at the moment would be Binance, followed by Coinbase. But what we saw was at one point before we introduced Trust Score, Binance, in terms of trading volume, is not the largest in the world. At one point, it was number 13. And what we did was we basically count the average daily user trading volume, and we take the volume divided by the visitors, and then we sort of normalize them according to a benchmark, which consists of the Bitwise 10 real exchanges. And then for exchanges that have a good ratio, we kind of take their numbers as trustable and we use them. But for exchanges that have very highly inflated volume, we normalize them according to their SimilarWeb traffic. So the other part that was interesting to us was an order book analysis. So we started implementing the order book for each trading pair, and we can take a look and see at the bid-ask spread and the slippage, order book depth. So we can sort of see how much money that is required to move the order book by 2% up or 2% down if you were to buy the coin. So obviously, an exchange that has more liquidity will show that the bid-ask spread will be tight and the order book depth will be thick. So it will be it will cost a lot of money to move the order book by 2% up or down. It's very interesting because once we implemented this, we sort of see some really interesting statistics. So we saw, for example, some exchange on Litecoin that is supposedly the third most liquid exchange, and it has over $100 million in daily trading volume, but it has a bid-ask spread of 89%. When we saw it, we thought that this must be a data error on CoinGecko. Like, there's no way that any exchange, any meaningful exchange can have 89% bid-ask spread because you can't really trade it with that sort of spread. And what we did was we checked on the website, on the exchange, and we saw like, oh, wash trading happening right in front of our eyes. It was just really bad. And then the order book depth only cost like $100, for example, to move the order book by 2% up, for example. I mean, not in this case because it's 89%, but like in many other cases, they was only cost $100 to move the order book. So we only $100, you can't really do any meaningful trade because you have so much slippage from the last done price. So basically what we did is we categorized them into green, yellow, and red to indicate that it's kind of good, fair, or poor for this exchange. And this is basically the first iteration of trust score. We believe that there's other data that we should also be looking at, and this is things that that's been keeping us busy this quarter and also will be next quarter. So some of the things that we want to look at will be analysis of the API quality, trade history, cybersecurity, proof of reserves, the hot and cold wallet analysis, some of social media analysis report, some sort of exchange support turnover time, some sort of a user review and licensing and regulation regime. So comprehensively looking at all these, we hope that we can increase transparency in the exchange overview landscape so that we can sort of deter cheating from all these exchanges.
I have a question for you, Bobby, around global volume, right? So, over the years, we've noticed how the volume for the whole cryptocurrency market has increased over time, right? I think it was like in 2015, it was like maybe $15 million a day. And then, then it went to like $45 million a day. Then it went to $200 million a day over the next couple of years. And then it hit $1 billion a day. And then like in early January of 2018, it was hitting $20-30 billion a day. Now, I mean, there's days where it's hitting 60, 70, $80 billion a day. Like, how accurate is that global volume? Is that reported volume or is that actual volume? And how far do you think it is maybe from being off?
Yeah, I would say that how far is being off, I don't have a number, but I would say that it's not really a good indicator to look at the global trading volume because it's all reported volume. And I guess to a large extent, like, there's probably two reasons contributing to the increase in the global trading volume. One is there's a lot more exchanges coming on board, and each of them will have their own trading volume. And obviously, with the growth of the space, there's a lot more traders in the space. There's two reasons. Obviously, the big reason why this increased a lot is because a lot of these exchanges are actually probably faking their volume. Some outright fraud through wash trading, but many others are doing this thing called transaction fee mining, which is technically not exactly wrong, but it sort of put in place a lot of bad incentives so that people trade among themselves or among their friends to rack up transaction fees, trading volume. So these are, and also some exchanges have, they go out and have zero fees. So essentially it doesn't cost any money to trade. I would say if you want to get a good indicator of the growth of the trading volume from a few years ago until now, I guess a good way is to look at the trading volume from a particular exchange, like and look at the volume over a period of time. And so for example, you might want to do like the trading volume on Kraken or Bitfinex from like 2013, 2014 all the way until now. And probably you don't want to look at the total trading volume for a particular exchange as well, but a total trading volume for a particular pair. For example, BTC USDT on Bitfinex from 2014 until now, and you look at it over a period of time, and you kind of get a better estimate of how large the market has grown since then. Because what we have seen is that a lot of the exchanges have also added a lot of these coins, so total trading volume for a particular exchange has increased has increased for many of them, partly as a result of the addition of many of these new coins as well.
So, I'm looking at CoinGecko.com right now, and I'm just, a little light question here. Why did you pick the lizard?
Oh, okay. So we just wanted like something more light in the space. Like everyone has like a really serious name in the industry. We just wanted to have something light and easy, and we just want to have like an animal in our name. So like to have like a mascot.
Yeah, we
do a lot of interesting things.
We don't like adding light and easy to crypto. We're really serious about all the things we do. So let's
Wait
do
a second, Mr. Joel Com. I just say 15% on my crypto
with CoinGecko. Yes. So I'd like to let's do a little comparison here and maybe tell us, besides a nicer layout, CoinMarketCap is really basic. It's kind of like Web 1.0 in terms of design. CoinGecko kicks it up a notch. You've got a little color. It's a little more fashionable, I guess I'll say. And I'm wondering, as far as features, what do you have that CMC doesn't have? And besides a lizard?
Yeah, so we have a lot of information. So we have developer and social scores. So we have stats on the social and developer. You can see the developer commits and all from 4 or 5 years ago. Coins like Bitcoin and all. Those are the main things. I would say we track a lot more exchanges. We have a lot more data for each of the coins, and also we track more exchanges and we track more coins. So these are the key differentiating factors, I would say.
Yeah, there's a pull-down menu. I'm just going through some of the features here, and there's right under your ad banner, which is being delivered on top, you've got kind of like an update that the Litecoin halving is happening. There's a countdown clock right there, and it's like it's in your face. Here's a big event that's getting ready to take place, and you guys have it there front and center.
Yeah. So yeah, those are things that we do because these are key events that obviously Litecoin halving and the Bitcoin halving next year will be the key events driving the price of Bitcoin and Litecoin. So we have already seen how Litecoin prices increase a lot because of this event. So yeah, that's one thing that we do. Trust score is obviously the big one that we are pushing at. Just increasing more transparency to the space to basically show how what we are doing. Basically, with this. Just by looking at order book, surprisingly, we can see a lot of, we can sort exchanges, not just on reported volume, but we sort of sort them based on liquidity now, just by looking at order book.
Hey, Travis, there's a really sad page you can look at here if you want to cry. Go to the top menu on CoinGecko, and right next to trending, you'll see 3 ellipses with the pull-down menu, and you can see stuff about the halving. But click on all-time high. And this is a beta of a page that shows how the price drop from for all the major cryptos from the all-time high. Man. And it's really sad. You got NEM down 95%, BTM down 83%, BCD down 99.14%.
Zcash down 96.59%. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crypto goes up, crypto goes down, huh, Bobby?
Yeah. This chart used to look a lot worse like 6 months ago.
Hard to imagine that, but true. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks pretty bad, but like Bitcoin at $9,100 at negative 53 from all-time high is actually pretty good. Like it was negative 80% or so at one point, and then it was so red. I just couldn't stand looking at the page. Man. I just don't look.
Well, and here's what's interesting is like Bcash is still down 89% from that all-time high.
Man,
so ouch.
Look
ouch,
at Binance Coin. It's only down 2.79% from its all-time high. Like that crypto was the one that was most resilient in the crypto winter, huh?
Yeah, and it reached its all-time high 6 days ago.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
So,
now, is that
everything else was over a year?
Yeah, that's wild. So, is that something you guys are thinking about having? Is having your own token someday, or do you have your own token?
We don't have our token at this point in time. I'm not so sure, but we did issue some interesting NFTs, like non-fungible tokens. So we have some CoinGecko. We did one for Christmas last year. It was issued on Ethereum, ERC721. Was going around, giving out just for fun. And then we have.
I didn't get one. You didn't give me a Christmas gift, Bobby Ong. Was it? What was it?
It's just a Christmas collectible. It was just fun to mint them out. We wanted to experiment and learn how NFT works, so we decided the best way to learn is to just kind of mint our own collectible. So it was pretty cool. I mean, I think I have a few extras. Got to find out how to distribute them out again. Let's see if I can figure it out.
So it wasn't too hard to create? We were thinking about creating bad crypto ones.
So I think setting up a smart contract on ERC 721 to do your collectible is actually relatively hard. Because, I mean, you can get the code, but you need a tech guy to do it. And then once you have those NFTs created, sending them out is hard as well. You got to call a smart contract and then run some code and all. It's just, I mean, it's still relatively hard. But we also experimented with Engine, and we minted some NFTs on the Engine platform, and that with the Engine wallet is very, very easy. So you can actually get started on Engine and minting and mint your collectibles. I know a lot of guys are doing it. That's very straightforward. You don't need a lot of technical skills. So yeah, I would say you should do it for bad crypto.
So you're saying the Engine platform is really kind of more like a push button platform for issuing non-fungible tokens.
Yeah, pretty much.
That seems pretty handy.
It's very simple. Like you just, I can't remember the exact steps, but it was relatively straightforward and very simple.
Very cool.
So you just have to, and then once you have it on your Engine wallet, sending them out to the next person is very simple. It's sort of like sending like your Ether on your mobile wallet to your friend. Like it's pretty similar like that.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Travis and I, we're going to, anytime we can go, oh, there's a new crypto toy, let's play with it. It sounds like Engine might be the easiest way for us to do something. So, Travis,
we had them on the show really early on, too. And it was nice to see them hit some of their finish lines that they were trying to. They've been doing pretty good. I want to ask you about this. So you guys have some really interesting quarterly reports over there. What are, and I mean, I've seen some of them in the past. They're pretty interesting. Maybe talk about your quarterly reports, how you put them together, and what value that people are finding in them.
Yeah, so we started doing our the first report sometime in quarter 3 2017. So we published like about 8 reports or so by now. And basically what we do is at the end of each quarter, the first couple of weeks of the quarter, we just hustle together and then get the whole team and like discuss what are the key things that happened the past few months, and we put together and then we start to make some slides, and then basically we want to educate our community on what are the main things to look out at, and so hopefully everybody learn and improve as a result. So for example, in the last report, the Q1 report, so we look at what happened in January, which was basically the launch of the Mimblewimble coins, Beam and Green. So we just explain what is why is it important, how is Mimblewimble interesting, and then February, for example, was basically the start of the IEO boom that kickstarted the crypto spring that we are in right now. So we look at some of the IEOs that happened back then, and then March was basically like the big interesting point would be Cosmos, for example. So we look into Cosmos and what's all this talk about inter blockchain connectivity, interoperability. So yeah, those are things that we look at, and then we also work with some other friends, like look into the decentralized application platforms with Deb.com, and then we also look at Lightning Network and other stuff. So it's towards the end of quarter 2, so we're actually going to start preparation for our Q2 report. Hopefully we release them sometime in mid-July, and let's see how it goes. I think there's a lot of interesting things that happened so far in quarter 2. I think the IEO boom is still continuing. There's a lot of interesting things to look at. And of course, the big one that happened yesterday was the Facebook's launch of Libra token. So that would be interesting to look at.
It's interesting that you mentioned Mimblewimble, because yesterday I was looking, I'd never heard of it or just heard of it in passing. And I was looking through the top 100 on CoinGecko, and I saw that number 89, like out of all of the gainers, which ones have really taken off this past week or so. And there's a token that's sitting at 89 called Grin. And I clicked on that, and it says the private and lightweight Mimblewimble blockchain. Maybe just explain for us really briefly what that is, and then we want to get your thoughts on Libra.
So in short, Mimblewimble is a protocol that Beam and Green are basically coins that are built on top of the Mimblewimble protocol. So it basically introduces a few new innovations such as coin join, cut throws, and confidential transactions that basically help a cryptocurrency to be private by default. So Beam and Green was created out of it. Two very different launch strategy from both these coins. So Green is very decentralized, very Bitcoin-like. It was very community-run, funded by donation. It was the monetary policy was 100% of all new greens given to miners. Beam, on the other hand, is more ICO-like. So you have a foundation and it's funded by the Beam Treasury. And the monetary policy for Beam is 80% is given to miners and 20% to Beam Treasury for the first 5 years. So essentially what you really want to do is compare Beam and Green against the other anonymous cryptocurrencies such as Zcash, Monero, Zcoin, and so on. So in short, it's basically an improvement of the current Bitcoin operating protocol, and it's basically, you just need to think of it as just another way of doing anonymous cryptocurrencies. So yeah, that's a TRDR of Mimblewimble.
I got to tell you that your reports are very extensive. I mean, we're talking 40, 50 pages typically on this thing. And so, folks, if you want to go check it out, go to CoinGecko.com. And then up at the very top, you want to hit the 3 ellipses over there by trending. You knock that down, you click on that, and scroll all the way down to where you see API, reports, widgets, newsletter. Click on reports, and that will be where those reports are located. Now, do you have like a newsletter? It says you have a newsletter here. Do you announce if you're signed up on the CoinGecko newsletter, like here's our report, or do you have to go to the website? How do people find out when those new reports pop out?
Yeah, so we announce it in our newsletter, and then follow us on social media. We put it out on Twitter, Facebook, or Telegram at CoinGecko. We announce it, and people will talk about it. So yeah, definitely come by and hang out with us at our Telegram at CoinGecko.
Nice. Let's go ahead and get your thoughts on Libra, since that news just broke here. I guess this will air probably in a week after, and we'll know a little bit more by the time the episode airs. But based on what you know right now, the first 24 hours, what are your thoughts?
I think it's very interesting that Facebook is trying to get into cryptocurrency space. I think there's push and pull factors involved. I guess the push factors, if you look at all the other large social media platforms involved, they've already launched their own tokens as well. So if you look at Telegram, they have their Gram token. Kick has Kin token. And then if you look at most of the social Naver, Kakao and Naver and Line as well have their own tokens, and Facebook sort of have to do something about it. And the pull factor, in my opinion, is this. I mean, if you think about it, how would Facebook grow their profits and market cap by 10x in the next 10 years, for example? And the big obvious answer will be to get into banking and financial services. So I think it's very interesting that they have decided to get into the payment services space. And there will be a lot of profit opportunities for them with this launch of Libra. It's not exactly a blockchain per se; it's a permission ledger, but it's very interesting in the sense that this is making crypto mainstream. It will be like the on-ramp for a lot of people to hear about crypto, and then it will be a sort of a way once people hear about crypto, and then they will find out what's the biggest crypto, and then they find out about Bitcoin. So it will be. They may get into Libra and then at some point move some of their coins into some of their holdings, some of their wealth into Bitcoin. So this, I would say, is net positive for the entire industry. And of course, for many people, if you can easily send money across the world with a simple message instead of like going through the bank or like using some other complicated services and paying high hefty fees, it's always a very good thing for everybody in the space. So, and I think because it's a stable coin backed by 4 fiat currencies, USD, GBP, EUR, Euro, and Yen, for people living in countries where they do not have stable currencies, where the value of their national currency, sovereign currency goes down every day, I think this is very interesting because this is a way for them to hold value as well. So I think it'll be very interesting to see. Facebook is a large country. It's a large company. Essentially, they are sort of creating their own country. They want to be like sort of a private central bank in the world. And but now the narrative will be shifted. Like everybody in the world, at 2.4 billion users or so of Facebook users, they'll hear about crypto. And at some point, a percentage of those will move into a proper permissionless ledger like Bitcoin, and we all see benefit from it, I would say.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, you mentioned 2.4 billion people hearing about crypto, thinking that, wow, well, if Facebook's doing it, this other crypto stuff might not be a scam. It might not be for criminals like everybody, like some people seem to still think that it is. So I think you're spot on. I think it's going to be a big boon for the crypto world. It could be really interesting over time for Facebook as more and more people realize that it's centralized and they own it, and then crypto, some of the the great things about traditional crypto is being decentralized and not having a central headquarters, right, where there is no one who runs it. What do you think about Voice? Right, this new platform that EOS is going to come out with, Voice, where people are going to be able to earn crypto based on their activities on the platform. Is that something you think Facebook's going to do as well? Did they mention that? I've not made it all the way through the white paper, so I'm not sure if they're going to reward people for their content. I assume they will not, because that's how they make their money. But Voice doing that, I think that could be a really interesting thing for them. What are your thoughts on Voice versus Facebook, maybe?
So I don't think Facebook in their Libra white paper is not planning to do incentivized social media, social network. So Libra, in short, is basically like a stable coin that anybody can have on their Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and you basically can send it to anyone on your contact list. So basically what they're really going after is the remittance solution. It's kind of like a Venmo, but for international transfers. So imagine sending money to, like me, for example, I'm living in Malaysia. Like you can send me US dollar, Libra tokens, which is pegged whatever the ratio is to the US dollar, and without going through like large, all this hassle of going through the banks or the other money service transmitter. So voice in the sense is basically sounds to me like incentivized audio sharing, similar to Steemit. I've not really looked into it very in much detail, but it almost seems like I've heard people saying that EOS spent a lot of money trying to develop Voice, and some of them are making fun. I think some of them were saying like EOS spent like $150 million to develop Voice. Yeah, so those are some of the things.
Yeah. They spent $30 million just on the domain alone.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is a lot of money.
Yeah, that really is. All right, Bobby, co-founder of CoinGecko.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. You guys go check it out, CoinGecko.com. It's fancy, and there's lots of data there, and you can see your cryptos go up or go down. Hopefully, you'll see them go up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. And I have now set CoinGecko.com to be one of the sites that pulls up on my Brave browser tabs when I launch my Brave browser. Because no more Google Chrome for me, Mr. Travis Wright.
I've heard that. I've heard you tell that whole story. We're de-Googlefying.
I am de-Googlefying, and I'm going to document the process. So far, I have succeeded in removing Chrome from all of my devices except my laptop, in which I have Chrome because I use BeLive TV to broadcast to Facebook Live. It only works on Chrome, but what I did is I logged into a Google account that I don't use for anything else, and I don't use the browser to go anywhere else. So it's kind of, its own thing. Mm-hmm. And, if they make it where I can start using it on Firefox, I totally would.
Beautiful. You need to chat with those BeLive folks and say, get with the programs.
Oh, and I've also removed my Chromecast from my television. The next step is to move mail, documents, and calendaring off of the G Suite, and I will be reporting back on that once I have succeeded.
Then you need to go to the tattoo parlor and get the Google tattoo removed. This is a big thing, because you're the guy who wrote the definitive book on AdSense, teaching people how to use Google to make money back in the days where Google shared most of their wealth. They shared a nice percentage of their revenue back to the people who helped build them. Then they got to the point where they're so big, they did. And you know what? It's like those of us who saw AdSense, and I read, Mr. Joel Comm's book back in the day. I was very familiar with that. and I had AdSense on my side. I made quite a bit of money. But you could see that exact same thing playing out on YouTube that you saw. It's like, oh, now we're going to share all this money, this ad revenue on your videos. And then slowly they're making it less and less and less, and then kicking people off the platform, just like what they did with AdSense. Very, very predictable.
Yeah.
But, we're de-Googifying.
Yep, I'm going to do it. Well, AdSense is still alive, and there are sites that are making a bunch of money, but I sold my content sites by 2012 for the most part, and so I really kissed AdSense goodbye. Google can kiss my AdSense.
That's good. And by the way, we are de-Googifying, and we are CoinGeckoizing. We decided to do more of that. That was a great interview with Bobby Ong, yeah?
Absolutely, and I love that he put bad on CoinGecko, and I'm just going to type it in right here, right now. Bad coin is listed as number 1174 of all tokens, and at this current moment, it has a market cap of $213,419. I love the charts on CoinGecko, though. There's just so much more information here that, and this is not a paid, spot at all. CoinGecko, we like better than CoinMarketCap. There's just more info here.
Mm-hmm. A lot more information. And go to the show notes. You can check it all out. CoinGecko.com/in. That's for English. Log.CoinGecko. They got the trust score stuff there. That's really cool. They got all these reports. Like, we should really have Bobby Ong on once a quarter to talk about these great reports that he has. I think that stuff is pretty phenomenal, built very well. It looks great, and the content in there is huge. Great stuff. What do you think, Mr. Joel Comm? What should we tell the fine folks of the Republic of Bad Cryptopia?
Well, it's not that they really need any instruction because they know this. But if we were going to tell them what the marching orders would be, it would have to be to, stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.